Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, Jesse and I are working on the TRAXXAS TRX4m with this nice big lot of parts supplied from Eliminator RC so we could throw into the demo unit, get it back to them on display. And I just heard they updated the international release date to the 18th, which will be next Friday, which is much better than the 25th. So 1 week early. Very cool to hear. But anyhow, let's get this guy open. And first off, let's check out these parts. Okay guys, yeah, we will start at the bottom, work our way up. So we decided to grab some of the optional or just replacement, trail canyon tires, the micro ones. Part number is 9769, and we are going to, because we took it for a run in the last video or last night, and all the weight back here, we wanted to get some more. So they have the beadlock method wheels, which or licensed method beadlock wheels, which are nice. Part number 9781, but we got the brass beadlock rings to go inside of those for the front. Part number 9780. So we're gonna put these guys together, get a bunch of weight in the front, which is gonna compensate for all the extra weight of the body, and we're gonna be laughing. Unfortunately, because it's a demo model, they are only supplied with one set of each, so we don't have a full set, so we can just do the fronts. And when Jesse and I get our models, we can do the full sets all around, and so can everybody else next Friday in Canada and everywhere else. So I think people in the US actually get them tonight at midnight. It's the 10th? Yeah, it's the 10th, so tonight at midnight they get them. So that's cool. We're gonna see a ton more videos, and people start developing a whole bunch more mods. We're very interested to see that start happening. We love when the new mods come out and people come up with stuff. I've already seen a couple guys that got this early with Fury Tech systems and all that. Very cool. Anyhow, let's move on from there. Those are irrelevant. These little guys are very expensive. Part 9751 blue. They're the dry shafts for the middle. Dry shaft middle steel, 4 dry shaft center, female 60. Yeah, there we go. 6061 T6 aluminum dry shafts for the little guys. So that's why they're 80 bucks in Canada for these. Are probably about 50 bucks in the US, but still very nice parts. Right out of the gate, to be released with this many option parts is fantastic. So moving on from there, we got the billet 6061 billet blue anodized servo mount, and that part number is 9739. Did I this part number on this? Yeah, I did. 9739 blue, and that is what holds the servo. And we noticed with the factory one, the servo was walking around a little bit, the plastic one. So we kind of recommend getting this part. Probably one of your earlier mods I would do to the vehicle. So check that part out right away. And moving on from there, we have the suspension link set. These are just the steel ones, and part number 9749. Now the vehicle itself comes with a sturdy set of links underneath it. There's nothing wrong. Whoop. There's nothing wrong with these links. They're heavy duty, like we reviewed in the first one. Those will hold up just fine. Now, only time those might get a little weak is on a very hot day, like hot rocks and stuff like that. The heat might start to make them flex under high load or high torque, you know what I mean, climbing and forcing it around. Okay, moving on from there, they also have available a stainless steel hardware kit for the vehicle. Pretty cool. Looks like it's going to cover everything. We probably had all the hardware kicking around, but it seems like they've covered all their bases, including even the servo horn screw in there that is pre-Loctited and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool actually. They've covered, just replaced everything on the vehicle. Very cool. Part number is 9746X. You say C? That's it. Diff cover's red. 9738 red. And we've got the anodized blue aluminum heatsink for the 87 turn Titan motor. I don't see the motor getting too hot with this guy, but we like cool things like that, so we're gonna pop that on there for them to make it look cool. Going on from there, they have the 9750A. Those are the 7mm wheel hexes instead of the plastic ones. Add a little bit more weight down low with that too, just maybe a gram or something, but it all adds up on a very small truck. So, and moving on from there, this is the 9791R crawler transmission with a 40.3:1 ratio, which is a lot less than the trail one that's in there. So in the previous video we had it running with that one, it looked good, but once we get this one in there, it's going to be a different story altogether. I think it's going to be really low and crawl. Very cool. They have 3 transmissions available. This would be low, that would be medium, and they have a high speed. We will try that when we get our trucks, and we'll get all 3 transmissions and switch and swap and play around. So that is very cool. And of course, a bearing kit, part number 9745X. Like I talked about in the last video, the truck comes with oil light bushings, which kind of wear out, and as they wear, they sweat out oil, and the oil is the lubricant. It works great if you're going to drive the truck. Like now is winter, so when Jesse and I get ours, we might not put the bearings in and just go hooning around, play in the snow, you know, beat them up a little bit because they are waterproof. So have some fun with it, and then put the bearings in the spring. But there's nothing wrong with the bushings, guys. Moving on from there, guys, we've got the shock set, the 9764 blue up next here. They come with the silicone shock wheel, 20 weight in there, the 4 shocks. I don't know about the springs. We'll open that up and find out in a few. Yeah, no, fully assembled without springs, 4 of them. So no springs. You'll have to use the springs off the vehicle and use those. If you asked me, they should have put the springs in, so if you're just buying them as a complete replacement, you can keep those together. I don't like taking apart one part to kind of upgrade it. I like to just upgrade it and take the other part off. So that's just my preference. Nothing wrong with that, and springs are cheap, so don't listen to me. Next up, we have the 9756 axle shafts, front and rear CVD. Now, the truck already comes with CVDs front and rear. This is not really going to gain you much performance. This is just a hardened steel version of the parts that are in there. Depending on your driving style, you most likely won't need these unless you find yourself running a brushless and a whole bunch of power and you're just throttle happy on it. Then you might want to get these. We're putting this in so we can have this thing kind of full option to go sit on display. It's going to look sweet. From there, moving up, we have the fantastic TRAXXAS Pro Scale Light Kit to go with the Ultra Scale Micro Body. Fantastic looking unit. And it reminds me of the first TRX4 I bought. It was red. So I placed an order for a red one for myself also. And where's that body? Right there. And we've also got a body from them, part number 9712. We're going to go through that separately, maybe in another video, kind of show you how the assembly goes and stuff like that. Very cool. We're going to give this a ProNoob weathered paint job, so that'll be a video in its own coming up, and that's all going to happen before the release date of the truck. So the video might trickle out shortly after, but you guys will like that. It's always good to make your stuff look weathered. Did we talk about the light kit enough? Don't worry about it. You'll see it. It's going to go in the body. It's going to look great. Let's put all these parts in that truck and get it done. Oh, you seen this yesterday, didn't you? Okay, awesome. So we did a little high speed there, got this guy together, going through it, building very nice design. The transmission halves interlocked. They have that little offset ring so the two halves click together. Love that. Yeah, so we got the rock crawler spec trend there, 40.3:1 ratio, something like that. We did the stainless steel hardware kit. I forgot to change out to the red diff covers, but we're going to leave them black for now. We're going to go back in. It only has the plastic gears in the differential stock that are composite, and I think there's going to be a metal gear coming up soon, so we'll go back in and we'll change them over then. Besides that, very cool design, very simple to work on for micro. Front end's a little bit tight, but if you do, like I said earlier, put the front links onto the front axle, take them off the chassis, take it off, put it back on that way, it is good. To go, everything is nice, no binding, everything is, you know, nice and fluent on it, so very happy with it. I am going to move on to building the wheels. They're just a typical set of bead locks. Let's see how these guys go together. Yeah, so standard lock ring in the middle, 2 halves. Cool. Yeah, we're going to put a set of those together with the brass bead lock rings, and we're going to put this guy back together, and then we're going to go test it out. So stay tuned for that coming up right away. Yeah, so the package, you have your basic bead lock wheel center lock ring like we are used to. We have picked up the brass ones, are pretty dope. They are 30-gram brass rings. We're going to add a total of 60 grams to the front of the truck. That's going to help with the weight on the body and the back. This thing, I think, is going to be fantastic when we're done with this. So we'll see you back here in a few seconds when we go test it out again. Okay guys, as you've seen in the video, we installed all of the available upgrades to the truck as it currently comes. Unfortunately, we only got the bead locks on the front, but we're still running the trail canyons on the truck all the way through. We did start with the Defender body. We switched over to the Bronco. The Bronco is going to give you a better crawling experience. It is a lower body, obviously a little bit lighter, a little bit less junk on it, but the Defender does look a little bit better for more trailing, overlanding, such like that. So quick overview, we got the steel links in there. We've got the steel dry shafts, or the aluminum dry shafts with the steel ends. They still do, however, have the rubber O-ring that holds the pins in. Some guys are having issues with those. I can see some wear on some of the rings as it goes. You could put a piece of heat shrink tube over that just to lock that in. Moving up from there, we did the GTR shocks. We went with blue since everything else on the chassis is blue, and it worked great. Make sure when you take the shocks new, you oil the bottom O-rings on the shock with green slime shock lubricant, or you can use some cow RC grease or something like that. We used udder butter just to make sure that the shocks don't stick to the shafts. If you just put them, get the oil in them and run them, you'll get sticking when they sit for a little bit of stiction happening. We went with the crawler transmission. There's no real way to tell the difference between the transmissions once you have them out. They might be a different color because this one is kind of that gray fiber reinforced look plastic, and the other one is definitely black, but we just scratched the R into the top so we know it's the rock ratio or the rock crawling gear. We snapped on the heatsink for the motor, and then we put in that fancy light kit into the body. Seems to be working pretty good, no complaints with it. Only complaint I could bring up, if there was one, is the turn signals don't work on it. They only work when they are when you put them in demo mode, you get the 4-ways. I don't know why they're flashing so rapidly.
Oh, so the brake lights are on until you start moving forward, and then they switch off?
Yeah, exactly. So like Jesse just pointed out, the brake lights are on, and then you apply throttle, they go off, and then you have a reverse light element that turns on. So brake light is neutral position, running light is forward, and then reverse light is on. So the back's pretty dope, looks really cool, especially when you go and stop and looks really cool reverse. The front just does the front. You can change the headlights, turn the headlights off, and just have the halos running. So right now, that's all on. So in one click of the button will just be the halos and the taillights. 3 clicks of the button is all the headlights off, and you just have the rear taillights with their full functioning. Actually, they just go off when you go forward now instead of running light. And then you still have your reverse light. So off, running light, and reverse, or off, brake light, and reverse. And then the 4th button is your 4-way flashers. So you can see you got the orange in the rear, you got the orange in the front, but you can't drive the truck in. And if you want to go back, then just click it one more time, and now you're back to default, which is 1 click, and that's... Oh, sorry, this is demo mode. Okay guys, sorry. Demo mode just goes through all the different functions of the headlights. So right now it'll be all lights on, and it'll probably do halos. Oh, halos and headlight flash, which we can't do, so I don't know why it does that. You should go down to halos and then go to turn signals. So this is your demonstration mode. This is the one where you can't drive it. Sorry guys, I was 1 click ahead of myself, and the rear just goes through the demo cycle too. So if you have a store or shop, or you just want to put it on your, put it up on the TV stand during Christmas and make it shine its lights, you can do that. Now with the battery off, I don't know. Yeah, with the remote off, it will still continue to go through its demonstration mode. And then 1 more click is back on, everybody, default. So yeah, we're good. So the crawler transmission gives you that super low bite. No more, like I was saying earlier in the unboxing video when we had the Defender body on it, we had that torque twist. No more torque twist there. Classic TRAXXAS style. It keeps it nice and low, nice and flat. With the extra added weight. Oh, we also did hardened steel axles inside the shafts and a full bearing kit, as you guys seen in the parts list there when we caught on the high speed. But the side hilling angling we're getting out of this thing is, fairly ridiculous for a micro with a hard body. Most of them flip over long before this, even with the Lexan bodies. So.
Still very capable for an 18 scale.
Yeah, now mind you, this mountain is cut for our 124 scales. Usually our track width is about this wide through here, a little bit narrower than this guy, so still runs good. Now it's a full bumper, full body, slider, spare tire, everything on it. You can take all that stuff, obviously, so it's not dragging and such. You can trim the bumpers, do all that good stuff. Oh, look at all spider webs. Barely fits in our hot tub. Usually got some room in there for a 24 to run with. So.
Oh, look at that. The Defender didn't make it through there.
No, And yeah, those we have 30 grams of those brass lock rings in each front tire, so another 60 grams all around up front, which is really gonna lock her down. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do anything on the other side of the mount. It's all pretty small, but ooh, he's got it in him. Let's try again. So we're gonna have to do some reworking of this mountain coming up this weekend, guys, because this whole side's dog crap. We don't like it, so we gotta chop it off and rebuild it. Even for the 124s, it's stupid. Oh no! A little bamboo pole there, hooking my dip. There we go. But out of the box, you guys, these things downhill and uphill like nobody's business. That whole drop-in we just did right there would have sent most trucks cartwheeling. Oh. Nope, that's stuck. That would have sent most trucks cartwheeling down the hill. So, otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Run out, go grab one, you guys. Eliminator RC, Winnipeg.com. Tell ProNoob sent you. They'll give you a big old fat schmoochie and send you on your way with a happy new toy. Let's do another side angle drop in here with a hook on the back tire. There we go.
And they're available, what, the 18th, this Friday?
This Friday. Tis the season, soon to be minus 50 up around these parts of the world, so get yourself a micro. You can build yourself a little micro mountain like this for a couple $100, or you can just go get some rocks, pile them together. We have a little bit of real stone in here, mostly foam. We do need a backdrop for you guys, so that's something we're trying to work out right now. It looks weird with the paneling, so we're gonna work on this. We're gonna get it all up to par. We got a whole bunch of work to do. I wouldn't mind being able to get into that corner and do something with that, so we might pull this in that way and kind of do a workaround. Anyhow, stay tuned for that, guys. That brings us to the end of the TRX4m Bronco or Defender, whichever one. Their beautiful thing is they're the same chassis underneath, so it doesn't matter which one you decide to do your build with. Change the bumpers and the body, and it's whichever vehicle you want it to be. Take it from us. If you're, we got the Defender and the Bronco coming. Defender's going to be more trail based, and Bronco's going to be more crawling and stuff like that. You know, he's an inch shorter and, you know, a little bit like the roof height and stuff like that. So anyhow, enough about me flabbering about my decisions we're going to do. We'll see you guys back here for some more videos coming up on these guys when we get ours on Friday. Cheers.